Welcome to Spice Quest. Today we're going to be talking about Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 on the PS5. After more than a decade since the original Warhammer 40k Space Marine, fans were excited for the release of Space Marine 2. Developed by Saber Interactive, the game delivers visually stunning, fast-paced action with brutal combat and an engaging portrayal of the iconic Space Marine, Captain Titus. While the game succeeds in several areas, it doesn't fully justify its $70 price tag for many players. A solid yet short campaign. One of the highlights of Space Marine 2 is its action-packed story mode. The combat is fluid, and controlling a Space Marine as you take down hordes of Tyranids is satisfying. However, the campaign is disappointingly short, clocking in at around 4 to 6 hours. For a full-price game, this brief story experience feels underwhelming, especially when compared to other games in its price range that offer longer and more intricate campaigns. While the story itself has its moments, it doesn't dive as deeply into the rich lore of the Warhammer 40k universe as it should. Fans of the franchise might appreciate the continuation of Captain Titus' story, but the narrative lacks the depth or emotional weight that could have made the campaign more memorable. The core gameplay in Space Marine 2 centers around fast-paced third-person combat, combining shooting and melee mechanics. The combat is smooth, and the sense of power when playing as a Space Marine is certainly present. However, after a few hours, the gameplay can start to feel repetitive. The lack of variety in enemy types and combat tactic means that encounters tend to blur together, reducing the impact of individual battles over time. For players who enjoy action-packed games, this repetitive nature might not be a deal-breaker, but for those looking for more strategic depth or variety gameplay, Space Marine 2 may start to feel a bit monotonous. Space Marine 2 introduces Operation Mode and a co-op multiplayer experience where you and 2 other players can fight together. Unfortunately, the multiplayer system has some rough edges. Matchmaking can be slow, and players have reported issues with connection stability and bugs during online play. When matches do work, the cooperative gameplay is enjoyable, especially with friends. However, the co-op mode essentially replicates the single-player experience, which means the same repetitive combat mechanics are present. Without a more dynamic or strategic multiplayer mode, the online experience doesn't add significant value to the game. Overall, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2 has some strong points, particularly in its presentation and core combat mechanics. The game will appeal to fans of the Warhammer 40k universe and those who enjoy hack-and-slash shooter hybrids. However, its short campaign, repetitive combat, and lackluster multiplayer don't offer enough content to fully justify the $70 price tag. For players who are deeply invested in the Warhammer franchise, or looking for a solid, brief action game, Space Marine 2 might be worth picking up on sale. But for those expecting a fully flush-out experience, waiting for a price drop or additional content updates might be a better option. Overall, I would rate this game a 7 out of 10 due to the bugs, not enough content, and also the matchmaking isn't the greatest. And then some of it you have to wait for the release of. When I buy a game, I want the game to be fully playable rather than waiting for additional release. Right, and that's my review. Spice Quest out. See ya.